Hi, it's Laura from Fashion Illustration Tribe. It's an exciting time of year for me right now because it's the end of August and we're doing fall enrollment for Freedom Fashion Soulful Fashion Foundation, which is based on my 20 years of teaching at Parsons School of Design in New York City fashion department. Freedom Fashion is where you can learn fashion design at your pace from your home in a very encouraging place, that space that encourages you to feel safe enough to let go enough to bring your genius forward, so that fashion and design become a place where you tap into your magic with solid skills as well. I don't believe that learning a skill means that you have to put your magic and your inspiration and your truth aside. Freedom fashion, true freedom is the bringing together of those things, right? Also in a container that has the flexibility to slow up, speed up, slow down as needed in your busy life, to learn and have these skills for a lifetime. So today I want to talk to you briefly about what the skills are and what the special offer is to begin. Freedom Fashion officially begins September 3rd. I'm looking at my notes. Begins September 3rd and the carts are open today. And what I'm offering right now is not something I usually offer. So what I'm offering right now is that you can get just this core program. It's a 16 module program that is modeled after the online course I created for a major university and taught for 10 years. That is, it involves model drawing, it involves, well, I'm gonna go through the syllabus with you, okay? While I have taught pattern making, draping, and sewing for 5 years in a BFA program, this program is more about your sketching. Don't worry if you don't even draw yet, it doesn't matter. I've taught beginners for a long time at Parsons. Okay, but we go over art supplies, how to use them. Actually, I'm going to look at my syllabus right here now as I tell you. Okay, first we just get you comfortable with your art supplies. There is a kit involved. It's about $150. Then we get into, building a body on paper. And the reason I teach you to build a body is because I want you to be able to build whichever body you want. Your body, your client's body, not what I was always learning in fashion school, very distorted bodies that no matter how they teach you, you never see a human, not even a model, that looks like that. I love people, I love women, I love the way we are. I want you to be able to build the body that is appropriate, that you feel like celebrating any day that you sit to draw. And the way that I teach it and the tools I teach make it customizable, that you can always adjust a body when you need to create a different kind of body on paper. Do you have to be able to draw bodies to be a fashion designer, to enjoy fashion design? No. I'll show you other ways that we also sketch using flats, creating line sheets, other ways that you can design. But a lot of people come to this program because they want to be illustrators, others because they want to be designers, and others just because they love the expressions of the human body. And I always say fashion, it's a goddess art. So whether you're even designing the clothes or you just love to create beautiful images that are fashion based, as in it's about clothing, adornment, beauty, expression through the human form, this is the place for you. After we talk about how to build a body, we talk about how you can create poses, how you can understand the mechanics of a pose and create poses that have movement and life in them. So much fashion drawing, I've been on YouTube. I don't even have the patience hardly to look at it all, but it's a very, you can see the fear and the stiffness and the kind of disconnect from the body in the pictures. And here we're very much about integrating your whole body into your drawing process and into the woman you draw, that she's present, that she's vital, vibrant, and expressive in whatever way you want to express. So no, it's not about my style, but it's about bringing in your style by creating a space of safety, emotional safety to explore in a spirit of fun, and to get you into a flow state so that your innate voice spills through even in spite of you. Because I find a lot of people who love fashion bring a lot of fear to it as well, right? It's like, because it's about beauty and harmony, and that sometimes we bring a lot of perfectionism to that, and I want to help you dismantle that perfectionism and even develop a relationship with your inner critic, so that when the inner critic shows up and tries to take you down, you can thank you for sharing and keep on trucking. These are my zone of genius. This is where I most love. This is why I do what I do, to help you overcome those demons. And in spite of yourself saying, this is my favorite quote from hundreds of students, I amazed myself. In fact, the experience of overcoming that hurdle alone will change your life. Just the experience of overcoming that hurdle, of thinking you can't draw and you won't be able to do this, and then getting to that point again and again. I have this experience. I watch students, then they can do it, and they can't believe where they've grown to. Okay, so week 2, posing figures is where we left off. Then week 3, we start to focus on the quality of line, how lines can be heavy, thick, thin, lumpy, bumpy, smooth, quick. This is of how we build texture into our drawings and dynamics, expression that feels less rigid and stiff. Stiffness is so often something that people are, because when we come to a drawing thinking it has to be perfect, when we come to a drawing with the approach of writing, writing instrument in hand, white piece of paper, we tend to get very rigid and stiff and symbol-like the way we draw. Unit 3 helps you redefine what lines mean to you and how they behave, and explore the range of expression that a line has. It'll make sense when you get there. Hi, Karen. We are launching Freedom Fashion Year 6 for fall. Unit 4 is mood boards. So we create some inspiration boards. We start to research what kind of colors, what kind of shapes, who's this woman, what's inspiring you. Maybe it's textiles, prints. Where are you now? What world do you want to explore? And we also we also work on the body again that week. Because in the very beginning of the program, you're getting a lot of new skills all at once. Well, not all at once. Week by week, everything's new. And then in the middle to the end of the program, you're going to see that all the new skills start to become integrated together, interacting, and your confidence builds because they start to become not repetitive, but yes, you become more confident every time you use them again in a new way. Unit 5 is developing a collection, a capsule collection that we are not drawing on the figure yet. We're only drawing it as flats. So we're creating a line sheet. Like, oh my gosh, if you were going to produce a line of clothing and it was only 7 pieces, what 7 pieces would you pick? Who would this woman be? We talk about choosing fabrics for this collection with the thought of how do these fabrics interact with each other? Which ones do you use for shirts? Which ones are you using more for like bottoms, skirts, and pants? How are you layering pieces? What's the season you're thinking of? Is it for work? Is it for weekend? Is it for evening and special occasion? Who is she? What does she need? And how do these clothes serve her? Is it fantasy? Is it functional? I get so excited. I've been doing this over 20 years and I just get so excited when I even think about it. What can I tell you? By the way, in the program, while it is self-paced, as in you can go as slow as you want, this fall I'm having it on the weekly drip, which is how I always worked at the university. So that means every week a new unit will become available to you. This gives you a sense of completion as each one. It's okay if you fall behind, there is no fall behind, but it gives you time to integrate and like feel the new information come in each week. I find a lot of people like that drip rather than having everything accessible all at once in the beginning. Ooh. So week 6 is when we start working with gouache. Paintbrush. Gouache is a watercolor form of watercolor that's quite opaque and really recreates the feeling of fabric very well. This course, we don't do anything like Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop. In my opinion, none of us went into fashion design to be Adobe Illustrator pros. My part in the role of fashion education is the sensual part. To smell the paint, to feel the paper, to get your whole body. Karen, the master of gouache. I miss watching you paint, Karen. Yeah, the textures, the feeling, I just got a call that doesn't ever again. The craft of creating fashion. Unit 7, we take a moment out to practice our drawing skills and learning all of how to create hair, features, faces, because having a face on your sketch that you like is always going to make you like your sketch better. And it gives us time to kind of focus on who is our woman and what might she look like. And there's a lot of tips. I struggled with faces for a long time, and so many people do. So I actually take a whole unit to kind of zero in on drawing faces, head, hair, and features. And then, you can always go back to that one over time if you find that you're still struggling. Because all of this is like planting seeds that evolve and grow on you over time. Unit 8 is we actually go into our sketchbooks, our Croquis books, and we start to have this experience of what is a Croquis book. It's your design treasure chest where you develop your ideas through sketching. And again, I'm always teaching you creative sketching skills of how to get ideas out of your head onto paper. You will always have more ideas in your head than you can get out on the paper, which is why having formats and containers and systems for how to get them out as quickly as you can. This is the most exciting part of it all, is Croquis collections. Like when you start sketching on a figure, and like, what does this collection look like? What does this collection feel like? And you're adding color, and the whole thing starts coming to life in a very loose, free way. This is something that every time I do it, actually I wasn't going to share a sketchbook right now, but I just have one sitting in front of me. This is a tiny one. I have some that are huge. It's whatever size you want. But it's a place where you'll put like your fabric swatches and then start drawing out different looks for those swatches, right? Bringing a collection to life. Maybe it's flats. This was a caftan kimono based kind of concept, but these are flats as well, but these are in color. Working with, adding a lot, whoops, I can't see what I'm doing. Details within the drawing. This is a different collection, but this practice of designing and creating in your sketchbook, this is the pure gold, because to be honest, whether you ever produce the collection or not, this practice of sitting down and tapping into your intuition and your pure creativity and seeing what comes out of you is a deep meditation. Wonderful experience. This is another one that's like literally just like on Post-its. These are all from former videos. If you check out my YouTube channel, Laura Volpatesta, there are a lot of lesson reviews in there, like free tutorials and everything. But in Freedom Fashion, we're going to move together as a group. We also have a private course community where you can share your work or ask questions. And I also have a private Facebook group for members of Freedom Fashion, so that you can have like that little mastermindy vibe where you're able to connect with each other more easily. And I'll do some pop-up live streams throughout the semester between September and the new year. In Unit 9, we are adding color to our croquis. So sketching in a sketchbook, week 9 we really get into rendering prints in the sketchbook, adding skin tone, adding color. All this stuff makes your formerly perhaps stiff sketches really start to walk and breathe on the page. I always call this the Pinocchio moment, because they have this folk tale of like Pinocchio being made out of wood and becoming a real boy. when you add your paint to your sketches, it's like this magic moment where they truly come to life. Week 10 is a creative drawing exercise. I do have a whole course of deeply creative drawing exercises for model drawing. It's called Model Magic, but this unit 10 is just like a let's dive back into model drawing. Not even because it's models, but even just every now and then it's important to stop planning your collection and just tune into the pure skill and creativity of drawing itself. Both your voice and what you want to express and who you are in your drawing, as well as your accuracy. The two can really come together so well, and that's something you do a lot together. That the more free and expressive you feel, the more accurate you can be. It's a big trick where we think if we're restrained enough, we'll be accurate enough, but literally the more you let yourself be a little more wild and free with the knowledge it takes to be accurate, the two can come together in a beautiful, sweet spot. Unit 11, we start to take our Croquis book, sketchbook sketches, and start exploring how would we pick our favorite sketches out of the group, and how would we illustrate them as final illustrations if we wanted to create a portfolio. I do have video up somewhere of my finished portfolio. It's definitely in the class as well, but a portfolio is like a book of finished illustrations where you've taken your sketchbook adventures and now you're polishing them up and creating some beautiful permanent illustrations that you will keep for a lifetime in beautiful quality gouache on quality paper. These are things you will keep forever. But the first time you do it, it feels like a big process. It can feel heavy. So we do it once and then we do it again, so that the second time you do it, you start to know, oh, I'm going to spend less time. The first time I did this, that part I spent too long on. Each time you do it, it gets easier and easier and easier. That's true for everything I teach. Those first steps feel the hardest because it's so new. And you gotta let that be okay. You need to know that's normal. And just the important thing is that you do it, that you show up for yourself. Unit 12, illustration, rendering fabrics, prints. And then unit 13 and 14 is where we are doing a new collection, and we're also getting very specific about details, like certain kinds of closures, seams, gathers, flares, so that not only are you designing clothes on figures with poses, silhouettes, texture, but then in week 14 we're getting very specific about where we would put seams and darts and gathers and how we would draw those elements, which is, once you start learning that, it's an ongoing learning process, where you're always developing that. But I give a strong foundation here. It reminded me of something I wanted to tell you when I was talking about model drawing, that the pay in full early bird bonus for this 16-week program is my Model Magic program, which is valued, that's like a $600 value. When you get Model Magic, that means that at any time while you have your program, you also get these 16 innovative model drawing exercises that are all designed to bust myths that we commonly hold about how art happens, how drawing happens. Breaking these myths so you can relearn how to draw from a completely different place than how we grew up thinking, and this is true for me. The way that I was taught to approach art is why I couldn't do it. And Model Magic is about almost tricking. I say tricking. It's a playful spirit, but always kind of tricking you into working in a way that you never would have if you were in the control zone. It kind of tricks you into a playful, slightly out of control exercise that's going to bring out your ability in a totally new way that if you were in control, you wouldn't be able to access because you'd be too. So model magic, that's what it's called, model magic. Magic is one of the core values of all my programs anyway, and I hope it's one of your core values because the whole reason we create is to engage with our magic and our purpose. You know, maybe you want to serve, you want to do great things with it. Yes, but even that comes from the magic, the flame that burns in you that knows that it's called to do something, and that when you're doing it, you're connected to a whole other level of your life, that everything else falls away and you remember how sacred and amazing you are. So unit 15, we finish up with presenting your swimwear group. So, you know, sketches are there, the flats are there, the fabrics are rendered, and the thing with this program is you can rework it again and again with different collections that you create. The reason we start with swimwear, it doesn't have to be swimwear. It could be yoga, it could be like yoga, it could be lingerie. The point is that because in the beginning of the program you're learning how to draw the body for the first time, I want you to be able to see the body and work with it before you start designing clothes that cover everything up. It's a little bit trickier to draw clothes over the body, which is what we do in my fall in other programs I have. If you complete the foundation program, you will always get discount offers for other programs. Don't worry about that. So anyone who's already in Freedom Fashion is always going to get a discount coupon for any other course I offer. So if you decide you want to do the fall winter knitwear course, for example, you'll get a discount from the public rate for that course. So we talked very quickly through. I didn't want to keep you too long or bore you, although it's not boring, through Freedom Fashion. I wanted to let you know that the classes are going to start dripping out September 3rd, but there is a pre-enrollment bonus that opens up to you immediately. So anyone who signs up early bird, whether you pay in full or whether you take the payment plan, you will get immediate access to the Fashion Design Infusion. Fashion Design Infusion is a video bundle of 8 trainings that I did this time last year promoting Freedom Fashion, and each one is about an hour long, and you learn some really precious foundation to fashion studies. So there's color theory, there's model drawing, there's digital drawing freehand on an iPad or digital device. There's mood boards and how you can create them using a free, easily accessible program on the internet, or not. You can just do it with Cut Magazine. We talk about fabrics. One is all about fabrics, and one of the tutorials is all about like ethnic roots of fashion. I'll show you. I have like a sample here. So for example, kimonos and caftans and these kinds of foundations, things like, I love to help you remember like how to get back to the most basic garments that have existed throughout history, and how so much of our fashion today is still based on these certain principles. It's a great starting point. And plus I love roots of fashion and fashion history. One of the videos is about, 2 of them are about sketching with gouache in your sketchbook. So it's a great way to warm up. It's not required, but it's a great course. So Fashion Design Infusion is an early bird bonus that you'll be able to access as soon as you enroll. Well, as soon as I get the notification. So within 24 hours, you'll get an invitation to Fashion Design Infusion as a bonus. And then pay it in full members will get Model Magic as well as a bonus. payment and a discount. The payment plan is 6 payments of $400, and the pay in full price is $1,600, and this is all discounted from the $2,000. I'm doing this right now because I waited a little too long to launch, and I want to start September 3rd. I'm offering the discount. If you can get in at this time, do it. These prices end on the 3rd. The bonuses end on the 3rd. I welcome your questions. I'll send you the link. Just message me, comment below, whatever you got to do, wherever you're seeing this video, just let me know and I can send you the links if you want payment plan or pay in full. And I'm tweaking some final tweaks on the sales page, which is why I don't have the link up yet. And I can't wait to work with you. I'm sure there are other things I would want to tell you that I can't think of right now. But we do fashion illustration and design sketching with gouache. You do not need to have a background, because any level you're at, even if you're like intermediate, advanced, there's often so much you want to unlearn. Usually people are looking to loosen up and to remember why they came to study fashion, because oftentimes studying fashion can squash why you came to study fashion. When I teach at the university, I see so many beautiful souls come to fashion because it's about culture, it's about craft, it's about people, it's about beauty. Fashion is about human life and our sacred magic, right? So we come with this dream, and then you come to a school where it's like the industry. And the soul that wanted to study fashion doesn't always get the magic they came for. This program is all about the magic, because wherever you go with these skills, it's your magic that makes the difference. And I'm here to make sure, if you feel like you're losing contact with it, if you're losing your way, I'm here. I'm in the program. The videos are pre-recorded, but the container is a closed private community, and I'm in it. I get a notification every time you post. You can ask me anything. And you can schedule private coaching, one-to-one calls with me as well, if the pop-up videos in Facebook aren't enough. So we have this. It's beautiful. I'm so proud to offer it, and I will never offer it at this price again. So I'm going to cut this short so I can fit it on Instagram TV and all that stuff. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to be meeting you for the fall session of Freedom Fashion's Soulful Foundation Immersion. Love you much. Bye, guys.